and it's starting. We restarted the recording. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. And I'm going to switch to Photoshop. So this is what we were covering. This is what we were covering last week. And let me review some of the things in here. So one of the, I'm presuming everybody can see. Hold on here. Let me look at participants. Go ahead and raise your hand if you cannot see the screen. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody can see. Okie doke. So to be able to edit video, whoops. I'm going to do a different share here. Hold on here. I'm going to do a new share. I want to do the whole, there we go. I want to make sure that I have the whole screen shared. I'm assuming everybody can still see okay? Okie doke. So to be able to edit video in Photoshop, the tools that they provide for us are basically a pared down version of Adobe Premiere. Adobe Premiere is their version of Final Cut. It is their video editing program that you should have access to if it's through the school. But when you're working in Photoshop, what you need to remember to do is to go up in the upper right-hand corner. To be able to see the timeline, you need to switch. If you've been working in painting, painting mode, that's what it looks like. Remember, we have our brushes to the right and most of our regular tools to the left. If you're working with essentials, then that looks slightly different. But what we want to do when we're working with video editing is make sure that motion is selected. And when you do that, you see the timeline at the bottom. That's what you need in order to edit video. You have to have the timeline. Now, you can add layers within the timeline. In addition to those layers, wait a minute, Daniel, so can it be a mix of lesson from Photoshop for our final? What do you mean? Go ahead and type that in. Daniel. Or let me bring you back and let me come back again. Let's look at participants again. Daniel, here. Let me unmute. So Daniel, can you talk? Just go ahead, Daniel, and type a question in the chat. For some reason, it's not allowing me to unmute you at the moment. No? Okay. Well, I hope this answers your question. Oh, can the final be a combination of lessons we've learned for the final? How do you mean? Yeah, I mean, if it's something that's unique and dynamic and original and it combines all of the features, then sure, why not? A digital painting can do that if you want, because it doesn't have to be a single photograph from which you're basing your image. It can be an image that you have, where you have combined multiple images together to create your own custom image. And then you can go in and you can edit that image and tweak it and make changes to it as needed, and then come back in and make a digital painting from it. So that would be my recommendation. It can be an old photograph, based on old photographs and new, or it's, I think for us in this class to make it interesting is to, like I was trying to do with a selfie photo bomb, and I think some of the more successful pieces are when you begin to tell a story. Okay. So let's come back here. I'm going to hide some windows that you can't see. There we go. Come back here. There we go. So again, you want to make sure that you have at the bottom that you have the timeline. As you import images or import video, remember that if you import video, then the video needs to be an MP4 file. And they provided those for us in this lesson. If you import a still image, it need only be 72 pixels per inch. And if we go back up to image size, we can see that the size that we were using here, you'll notice in inches, it's almost 20 inches wide by 10 inches high. But if we switch the pixels, it's 1280 by 720, which is a standard size for high definition. So that's the size at 72 pixels per inch or larger, but not too much larger, that you need if you're going to import still images. And those still images can be combined with video in your timeline. And that's what we've done here. As soon as we imported them, all of the files, and what they did for us was pretty nice. What they did is they numbered them. They started the names of the files with a number. And if you do that, then it will load them into your timeline, into the, in that sequence. Now, should you wish to change the sequence of any of these, if I wanted to move these two around, for example, I could select, let's put the playhead over this one. And if I wanted this to be over here, I could do that. And now I've changed the order of them. It's that simple. And as soon as I do that, notice that it changes the order in the layers as well. Now, by doing that though, notice what it did. At the beginning and end of each of these video clips, it removed the transitions. So if you still want to transition, that's a good point to bring up. Let's, before we select transitions here to add, let's look at the playhead here. That we can rewind, we can play, we can mute the audio if we want to cut, as we did with the sound, splice it, we can do that. And then what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and we'll add the transitions back over here. And what we're using in this one is a crossfade, which is one of my favorites. So we just click and we drag it between the video clips and it's been added. It's that simple. And I'll click and drag again and add one here. And then I'll click and drag again and add one here. And then if you want to see, you can, click and let's go back over here to this one. And I can twirl down, see what's going on here. Make sure that this video clip is the one that's selected, not the beginning. Let's click this one. Gotta twirl down again. There we go. And we can click on the transition. And if I control click on it, you'll see that the duration is 1 second. And there is a limit to the duration that you can have. It can't be as long or longer than the length of the video itself. Now with a still image, you can make the length of that still image linger or last on screen for as long as you want. But for the video clips, you can only have the video for as long as the clip is. Right now, what they have done with this, the duration of the transition, is to limit it to 1 second, because each of our clips at the very beginning of the lesson, we shortened to 3 seconds each so that they were all equal in duration. And they're all relatively short, okay? So remember, for example, if we wanted to lengthen the video clip, we clipped some of it off from the back end of this, and I can go ahead and I can stretch that back out a little bit. And as I do that, I can click in the upper right-hand corner too, and you'll notice that the duration of the video says here. Let's go back over here. I'm going to redo this one. So I have the boat again. Let's go ahead and close this one. This one I always forget about. You close and open the video clip for that or the still image. And if we open up the boat one, okay, and then I click on this little button, you can see that the duration is 3 seconds. But if we want, we can go ahead and we can increase that. And we're bringing back some of the video clip that we trimmed initially. Now, by doing that, we can have a longer transition from one to the next. So I can take this one, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shorten it back again. I want to shorten that. I don't want to make that one longer. I want this one. I want the boat to be 3 seconds. So I'm going to change that back to 3. It's because it's screwing everything up. There we go. And then I'm going to twirl this one down again. This is the one of the dog. So let's pull this out. Let's go ahead and select this and delete that. And I'm going to check again. Let's check again. So as I'm working on this, it's screwing things up. So I need to double check to make sure everything is okay. Let's select this video again. And I'm going to sit down. And this one is shorter. So that's 2.3, 2.47. I want that to be 3 seconds as well. Okay. So this one should be 3 seconds. Let's come back over. There we go. Let's close this up. Let's make this longer again. Let's see how this looks. Let's click here. There we go, 3 seconds. So we have all of them at 3 seconds again, I believe. Hopefully I haven't screwed things up. But, you know, if I have, it's easily corrected. All of these things that we're working on are non-destructive. And if I really screwed up, it's just easy just to go back and hit undo. Let's do that. There we go. So you want to have a pretty good idea at the beginning about how long you want your clips to be, because they can all be edited and changed, but then it has a ripple effect. And as you can see, it affected my transitions, so probably I would have had to delete those. It affects the other clips. And also what you might want to do is to stretch it out at the bottom. Notice where my mouse is down here. We can stretch it out so we can see the length of the videos, and they're, you know, complete. We aren't seeing just little snippets of them, little truncated versions of that video. Let's go ahead and reduce that a little bit. That's good. Okay. And the other thing to remember, which with each of these, is that if you do want, for example, as we've done with let's select the jumping guy here. That we have for him, we have keyframes, because if we move our playhead down, notice that he moves up. And this is the same thing that we did with the text. That you want to move the playhead where you want the action to start. And then under transform, you want to click right here. So you'll go ahead and twirl down with this video group, and you'll click the little button here that says transform. It will automatically add a keyframe. Then you move to the end of the clip or wherever you want that to be. So for example, let's say if I wanted him to move over like so. I mean, I really don't want him to do this, but I'm going to move it over like so. Notice that it automatically added another keyframe. So now when I move it over like so, notice how it's moving to the right and then back up. So every time you move, every instance, it will add a keyframe. I'm going to go ahead and click this one and hit delete to remove that. So it just simply moves up, and that's it. That's all we wanted it to do for this particular clip. Okie doke. And then for sound, that would be one of the last things that we would want to add. When we come down here to the bottom, we can see that there is a sound clip at the bottom. And it's an audio track. And if you want to add your own audio to and edit it, you have to use an MP3 file, which is a standard file format that's used for both Mac and PC. And if you want to do a little bit more extensive sound editing on the Macintosh, one of the things that you can do is use, let's see if they still have it. I'm going to go ahead and they used to have GarageBand. I believe it's still available. That was a pretty robust program that came with the Macintosh that allowed you to do some pretty extensive sound editing. But all of the sound goes in this layer down here, okay? With the exception of the clips themselves, if they have sound built in, then again, if we click on the clip here, then we click here, notice that we're editing the video from here, and if we want to mute the sound, which we did, we do that. Or if you want to fade in or fade out, or you want to edit the volume of the sound, we do that from there. Okay. And along the way, you want to make sure that you're saving it as a Photoshop file. But remember that you can't upload Photoshop files to YouTube or Vimeo or any other shared video source. You cannot burn it on a DVD. So what you need to do is you need to export this and do a final render. To do the final render, you go up to File and you go to Export. And it will be down here. It will be, where are we here? Render video, right there, near the bottom. And it gives you a series of options. What we did for this particular exercise is we rendered all the frames. But if you only want to render some of the frames, you can do that. If it's going to be for a lower quality, you can do that so that maybe it would be more compatible for the web, for using or viewing it on a phone, for example. Here's the iPhone or iPod. If it's specific for that, you can do that, so it'll reduce it in scale, in size, and quality, so that it will play properly without having any problems. And then you click Render, and it will save it as an MP4 file. That MP4 file can be played on almost on any device. It can also be burned on a DVD using a DVD player, and it can be uploaded to YouTube or Vimeo or any other program that you want to use that's on the web. Okay, since I've already done that. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. Or actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to leave the sharing on, but I want to look at all of you here, all of you participants. And I want to ask, let's see. If you have any questions so far. I know that this is a repeat of what I've done the other day, but I'm trying to just review and go over some things, make sure that it's clear on how to do this. As I may have mentioned before, I think it's for lengthy video that's that's any longer than 10 minutes, that maybe that's even 10, that is 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't think Photoshop would be the right program to do it. It would be better to actually use Premiere to do it, or if you would rather to use Final Cut Pro or another video editing program, then that would be my choice. But for really short videos, like what we're using in this particular lesson, 10, 13 seconds, really short ones that would be good for promotions or ads on social media like Instagram. What else? TikTok, you name it. Any other really short, it could be maybe a Facebook ad. Then this wouldn't be a bad tool to use. It would actually be pretty good. So if you have a question about the assignments, about the lessons, about where to put them, when they're due, about this particular lesson, please raise your hand and I will give you access to the talking. Are there any questions? Today might be a short day. No? No questions? Mark Vallejo. Okay, so let me unmute. There you go, Mark. Question?
So how do I know you said like to upload our work on Google Drive, on like the Google Drive, but how do I like so like you can see them, like my work?
Oh, well, once they're on, well, you put them on Google Drive, but at the beginning of the semester, did you email me? And did I send you an email confirming that you were joined? So let me, I'm going to do a separate share now. Instead of this screen, I'm going to do another one. And let's go back to Google Drive. Let's go back here. So these are all of my shared folders. And the one that we have for our class is this one. So did you upload your file to this?
I don't think so, no.
No. So then what I need to do, this is the same question that we had earlier, is that I need to go back outside of this drive here, and then I need to email you, and then you will have access to this folder. Then once you have access to this folder on Google Drive, you will create a folder inside it, and then put your name on the folder, and then put all of your files inside it. Put your lessons inside it. Also put move or upload any of your projects inside that folder. So this is the folder that we have. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control key, click here, and I want to share it. So what I need to do in here is I need your email.
All right. In the chat right now.
What's that?
I'm typing it in the chat.
Because with this up, I cannot see the chat.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all of its lowercase is mark.vallejo01@gmail.com.
Mark.Vallejo.
It's J.
Oh, wait, sorry.
There, right there.
Yeah, Vallejo.
Oh.
Dot one or one?
S and then 01.
X.
S.
S 01 at gmail.com. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I will go ahead and in a couple of seconds, you should receive this invitation, and that will allow you to put all of your files for our class inside that folder. But remember, what I want you to do is that when I double click on this folder, notice how other students have created a folder for themselves. So
Yes.
when you're in here, all you have to do is hit the Control key, click, and say New Folder, and put your name on that folder and put all of your files inside of it, okay?
Okay.
So that, for example, with Adeline, are you there, Adeline? If I double click in here, you can see I can see all of her lessons. The lessons that I can't see are the ones that have a really high resolution or extremely large files. These I have to download. And that's fine. That's what we're going to do for the movie posters.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let me stop sharing. We're going to go back. Any other questions for anybody? If not, then it's a short day today. We're just 35 minutes in, but if there's anything that you want me to demonstrate or to review or to clarify, please let me know. This is the time to do it. I do want everyone to participate when we have a critique next week. Sharon, you have a question? I did. I have. I wrote it down for everybody, and Sharon, I got yours. So I should have everybody. Hold on here. Yep, I have everybody. There are 11 attendees today, total of 12 participants, including myself. And we're all good to go. Andrea, how are you coming along with your public service poster?
Can I show you my progress?
Huh?
Can I show you the poster?
Sure. So let me find you, and then I need to, I'm going to, again, change you to promote you to panelist, and you should be able to now share your screen. Okay. What I would do, okay, instead of just making the make their wish come true curved like that, it could be a slight curve. Well, leave it curved.
Okay.
Rotate it slightly so that it looks like it's going at the same angle as the shooting star. That makes sense? Just hit Command T for to transform, and then you can rotate the whole thing.
No, wait.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going a little bit more. That's good, like that. And do the same with the dot now.
Oh, I don't know why it's not changing.
Maybe use a different tool, or you're selecting a different layer or something. I think that's, yeah, Command T. Nope. Lock, if you're having trouble selecting another one, just lock it, and then it will prevent you from accidentally selecting something you don't want.
I don't know why it's not letting me change it.
Is it possible you have something separate that you use a different-
Maybe. Well, I can change it later.
Okay. Then the other thing is the text that's beneath it where it says the wish of stray dogs is to have a warm, move that near the bottom, near his feet, and see how that looks. Keep going. There you go. Yeah. Now, what do you think about that? And even if it's a little bit smaller, so that we give a little bit of error around it.
I don't know if I can move the text up in the center.
Okay. If you would rather have it in the middle, you can.
Yeah, because I don't know, I saw like a lot of space.
What you might want to do then is instead of 2 long rows, make it 3 short rows. Try that. So if you want to move it back up, you can. Something like that. Yeah, there you go. Something, yeah, make sure it's centered. I think that works a little bit better. And then once you have Adopt Now rotated, I think you're good to go.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
okay. Anybody else? Go ahead and stop sharing your screen and then we can.
Okay. Can see. Okay.
Okie doke.
Question.
Hold on here. Okay, who else has a question? Ray Gabriel?
Yes.
Okay,
So the lessons I uploaded, did you see them?
I haven't looked yet, so let me switch. I'm gonna go ahead and share a screen and we'll take a peek. Okay, let's go back here. Yours says Ray somewhere.
Yes. All the way to the
There we go.
right there.
There you go. All your lessons. And make sure that you also move your projects inside that folder as well.
Projects.
Okay?
So all the lessons and projects are in that folder.
Yeah, that looks good. That's
Okay.
exactly what I need. Something with the Monday, Wednesday class and my roll sheet got screwed up. And for whatever reason, it stops at lesson 4 or 6 for most of you. So I don't have any additional lessons checked off 5, 7, 8, or 9. So I need to make sure that you just move them, since you should already have them saved, move them into that folder so that I can see them. And before I turn in grades at the end of the semester, I'll double check and make sure that they're all there.
Even that my first project.
Yeah, put that in too. I mean, that I have a grade for. That's no non-issue, but it just will tidy up my screen by doing that. Okay.
Okay. And can you critique on my movie poster?
Okay. So I go ahead here. I need to promote the panelist. So you should be able to share your screen now. Okay. Where it says No Man's Purgatory, your title, you need to reduce the leading between the two lines and make it smaller. Make the text a little bit smaller. Then in the background where you have the color image, I would add a texture. I would go up to make it less, you don't want it to compete with the foreground image. You want it to sit in the background. And right now it's competing. It's reading just as strong as the image in the foreground, and it should read as a secondary image. So if in Photoshop, if you go to the top and go under filters and only select that layer, there are some that you can try out that are maybe a little bit painterly that might give you some interesting looks. You might also experiment in the layers panel, and with that layer selected, look at the mode and try like reverse, try some other other modes to see, just for aesthetics, to see something a little bit different. And you might want to also, if it still competes quite a bit, then you might want to turn the opacity down a little. But those two things, or actually three, it's where it says no man's purgatory, that text should be a little bit smaller, and there's too much space between the lines. It needs to be tightened up, so you need to reduce the leading between there. Then your image in the background, my recommendation is to make it, add some texture, and also so that it doesn't compete with the image in the foreground, you might want to change the opacity of it a little bit. Down, 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 down. No, the other way. Reduce the opacity. So it's almost invisible. Whoa, that's enough. Now go up to filters and try something. So look at filter gallery. Okay, now go to artistic or texture. Look at texture at the bottom. Okay, try the bottom right-hand corner, the texturizer, and see what it does. Okay, so you might want to change the scale of it a little bit, change the relief, and then when it goes back to a transparent version of yourself, it might be add a nice contrast to the silhouette of you. See how it's very subtle right now? So you might want to make the scale a little bit larger, increase it so it's a little bit larger than 100%. Try 200%. And that's something that you want to play with. Yeah, crank it all the way up. And then increase the relief a little bit. Whoa, 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 that's good. That's good. Stop. Go back to 10 or 8 or so. And click OK and see what it does. At this scale, you can't see much. So you might even want to put another color tint on top of that, just to make it a little bit more subtle. So on top of that layer, add a blank layer. But you know what's going on? Okay, never mind. Yeah, add an empty layer to the, okay. Hit Command A, select all. Okay, now fill it with black. Or a deep blue or something like that. A deep blue might be a nice color. A little bit darker, grayer. Yeah, that's it right there. Look, okay. Now hit Option Delete or Alt Delete. Okay. Now what you want to do is to change the opacity and turn it down on that layer. Bring it back up. Play with it. See? Yeah, stop. Whoa, back a little bit. There. See how it helps it sit back a little bit? So now make adjustments to your title, and I think you might be done. Okay,
How do I put these together?
huh? You need to
how-
bring up the character panel.
No, the
Go
title.
go up to window. Actually, it's already over to the right. You have to highlight both layers.
Wait, which layer?
Select the text tool. Text tool. Select the text tool. Is it selected?
No.
There you go. Now highlight. Highlight the text, No Man's Purgatory. Okay. Now over to the right in the panel, in the properties panel. It's where it says, you can't see my cursor, but it's go down a little bit and to your left. Whoops, stop. Now move your cursor over. Up. No, no, not that far. Where it says auto. There. So change it from auto, or I don't know how big the type is. So instead of auto, use the little the button to the left and click and drag your mouse to the left, and it will change it. Yeah, yeah, to the left. Make it so that they're almost touching one another. Whoop, not that much, but a little bit more. A little bit more. That's it. That's enough. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, you're done. Turn it off. Click OK. No. Click OK. The checkbox at the top, or hit the return key, one of the two. There you go. That's better. Now move it, the whole box down just a little bit. Hit Command D, no, yeah, but no. You forgot to deselect the background. So hit Command D to deselect. There. That's better. Okay.
So that's all it needs?
I think so. You might, if you wanted to, in the top, if you wanted to put quotes from, or the names of the stars or that sort of thing of the movie, that might be kind of nice. Or quotes from, fake quotes of reviews and that sort of thing. That might be a nice addition to fill some of the space up here. But otherwise, no, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
Okay.
Hey,
Instead of having the text flush left, make it flush right, so it's flush right. So for No Man's Purgatory, highlight it again, and at the top with the text tool, and make it flush right. It's up at the top here. No. No, it's right in the middle at the top. You have it centered right now. Click flush right. It's to the left of just to the left of the white box. There, right there. Okay, click OK. Click OK. Hit return or one of the two. No. Click the check box or hit return. Now move it over to the right. Okay, highlight it again because it's still centered. There's space here that you don't want. You want the S to be right over the Y. So there's a space. There's a space between the S, to the right of the S, get rid of that. Move the cursor to the right of the S. Use your right arrow key. No. Hit the right cursor again, or the right arrow key again. Hit it. No. You want it to be flush. You want the S to be over on top of the Y. There you go. Now hit the return key or the checkbox at the top. There, I think that's better. You want to move the whole thing over just a little bit so the S is not touching the edge of your shoulder. And that would,
entire title.
mm-hmm. Yeah, the top.
Put it at the top.
Just move it over to the left just a smidge. No Man's Purgatory. Move it over. Yeah, move it. No Man's Purgatory. Move that over just a little bit to the left. No, the words No Man's Purgatory. Move it over to the left just a little bit. That's it. That's it. It's enough. Okay. You're done. Okay. Okay. So go ahead and turn the screen back over to me, and I think we're done for today.
Thank you. Where is it? Where is it?
There you go. I did it for you. Okay, so are there any more questions for those of you who are remaining? Yes, no? So this Wednesday, I should say, we'll start lesson 12 and we'll work on that for a little bit. Okie doke. So if you guys want to start, some people already have left. If you guys want to leave the meeting, you're welcome to. And I'll stay for a few minutes.